Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain,
Fire, what you
mountain.
saying?
Yes, Autarchii. Give thanks to the reasoning again, you know?
Serious thing, Fire. We are back here again, Ballhead and the Dread. Had a little, what's the term they use, Fire? A little break. A little
Hiatus. Alright.
hiatus. Yeah, we give thanks for Smith Grenada Massive out there. Um, Fire, take the eye doing good, same way. We give
Yeah,
thanks.
man.
We give thanks for everyone tuning in from those times till now. Have to remind the people, have to remember, black media is under attack. And if you truly want to support, we give thanks for the visuals. We give thanks for you watching, but you need to support with those dollars. Make sure you visit us there at ineverknewtv.com premium. Also, our Autarchii, a.k.a. The Dread, has a new single circulating. Fire, let the people know the name of the tune and also where they can find it.
Rastafari call is out now by Autarchii. Autarchii. Check it on all streaming platforms, YouTube, any platform, Spotify. Yeah, soulful roots reggae music. What them saying now, Bill again? It's being built right now.
Serious thing. Fire, what we reasoning about today?
Well, today we're reasoning about the whole concept of social status amongst our people and how it really divide the whole stratosphere, and it made the mission a bit harder. And it seems like it tend to be it tend to be a suppressant towards the whole grassroots movements and building from scratch. So we really need to talk about it fair, because we can't really stay divided as a people and make so much petty differences stop us from reaching the ultimate aim, you know?
And I want to be clear before we start. Too many times when we talk about the past, we talk about it in absolutes, right? When I'm referencing the past right now, I'm not saying this is the absolute as if everyone did this, but it seems to be based on the information I've gotten from a diverse group of elders, many elders, strong sample size, my statistic, brother. It seems that there was more of a pursuit for the benefit of the collective than the individual. Not all, but a higher percentage than what we have now. And what I notice now is that the sole intention of too many of us, unfortunately, and the criteria that we use for success is strictly on an individual level. There's no concern for what happens to the collective. There's no concern what happens to the future of the collective. Only thing people are concerned about what occurs to them. And extremely detrimental. We criticize politicians for short-sightedness on their actions and the things they do for profits behind doors and how they impact the people long term. But if we really analyze it, many of us do the same thing. We don't think about things long term in regards to how others benefit. I'll never forget, I had a conversation with a person, and we were talking about the environment, and they were saying, real talk, educated person, indoctrinated person. They were saying how they didn't care because they won't be around. Straight to the point.
At least them honest
at
compared
least,
to
no, at least they're honest, and like that's the approach. And what I notice now, what we have now is that I'm noticing more and more as I go around and do my rounds, is that a lot of people are joining these organizations, are joining groups, are joining things, not with the intention of how they can provide their talents to benefit the group, but how their association with the group could benefit them, especially from a status standpoint. Is like a check off a box. You know how I go far. Everybody want to tell you what organization they're a part of and what they did. Then when you analyze it, what this is organization accomplished and what was your contribution to that accomplishment. But yet they love bragging about the association.
it's kind of like a offshoot. The people become an offshoot of the corporation, the very system and the structure that they're a part of. 'Cause, like corporations, they'll practically not care about anything at all. But when it comes, because they have to uphold and fulfill a corporate social responsibility, most of the corporations automatically will do some form of a good. Just like a politician have to have a track record of what good did they do. So I think most of the people kind of seem like them come like a offspring based off of the thought process of how the corporation teach them for act, not realizing that this whole association and the meism that's taking place within the corporate social responsibility is not really the ideal way for move forward, and you're still more thinking about yourself than the collective mission, and collective mission that's right in front of you, you know.
Far,
It's kind of embarrassing when you think about it.
no reality and very detrimental. But Farah, I wanted to ask, man, what do you think would be needed? I have some ideas, but what do you think would be needed to shift people's behavior from a more individualistic view, competitive view? We got to put that into because some people compete. I know they compete. Everybody compete with somebody, but I don't know they compete with. From the individualistic, competitive view in regards to the collective. And I want to say this before you answer. The best basketball I ever played in my life is when I learned to be a good teammate.
You know, really and truly, I think overall we need to show would have got showcase the people them. We have give them two scenarios. So scenario planning is the ultimate. I think would have to be the main part of it, right? Here's the outcome of the collective when done in the right order, and here's the outcome when done for selfish gains. For selfish gains, you might have an impact, but what is the effect of that impact versus the effect of working collectively for really carry out the mission? I think people have to see it from that angle first, so it can play a role in them psyche and play a role in their brain for understand how much they are impeding the very movement that they say that they're building. Because it have to take some form of psychological evaluation in the mind so they can reset the mindset to see that this is not the ultimate that we're doing. Everything that we're doing right now is out for selfish gains and selfish reasons to look good, as opposed to actually doing good and setting the foundation for really developing, you know. Many more, but I think that are the kind of like the core basis that every single thing would be going back to.
And I want to touch on something you just said before I provide a solution. You spoke about the looking good, right? And I believe that what's occurring is that because of the selfish intent, so it's let me be associated with this thing, right? You notice that a lot of things aren't getting done because the purpose of the because the purpose of their association, the purpose of the organization. Well, I can't say the purpose of the organization, but the purpose of many people associated or part of that organization is not to do anything; is to be associated with it. So it just gives everything a bad name because people look and say, "Yo, why they not really doing that?" Because that's not their genuine purpose. And truth be told, they are meeting their purpose, which is to have association, use it as a reference, use it as bragging rights. But regards to doing work that's aligned to the mission statement that many of these organizations have or groups have, it doesn't come to fruition because their intention is not to do the work, but to have association. I want to jump back in regards to speaking about becoming a good teammate and when I played my best basketball within my life. And I feel that we have to do more teaching. There's this culture of assumption. We assume or people believe they have this idea that people should know stuff, and it's very detrimental. Why don't they? Like they should. They have to be taught. And many of the things that we criticize people for doing, the criticism is unjust because they've never been taught. And based on their behavior, even if they weren't taught enough because their behavior is not replicating the teachers that they receive. So I believe that more, you don't need no great, everything got to be a big production. You know, it doesn't within your own space, you know, starting with your children and people you have access to. I've been speaking about this a lot and I have to keep repeating this. I'll continue. You have to teach people not to have this limited mindset. Like the cake is very big. That's the first thing. You have to understand the cake is humongous and you have to be taught because I don't think it's natural, especially depending on the environment that you grow in. I don't think it's natural. And behaviors show me that this isn't natural. It needs to be taught. They have to learn, young females, how to be happy for the success of another sister. And you don't need to be in competition with your sister. The young brothers have to learn. The cake is very big, right? It's okay. It's okay to be happy for the success of another brother. It's not taking anything away from you, and more than anything, it's going to keep your pressure down. Right? You can avoid certain amount of health issues and body stress just by not hating on another brother or another sister. So I think any parents listening, my teachers, my educators, my coaches, aunts, uncles, mentors, if you can, you don't need a curriculum. You could throw in a little game here and there. You can be an example. That's the greatest thing because you saying it and not practicing it, the lesson is done. You yourself, if you're in that situation now, you have to hold yourself accountable and relearn and be that example where they don't hear you talking ill about people. They don't hear you putting down people. They don't hear you hating on people. They hear you praising people more, uplifting more, and seeing the greatness in people verbally. You setting that template of action because they're gonna replicate it. That's all it comes down to. If every time you drive in and you hear, excuse my language, folks, but shitting on somebody while you're driving, that child's gonna say, "Hey, that's the thing. Somebody's doing, I guess,
That
supposed to,
normal.
yeah, that's normal. Yeah, it's normal to someone progressive people to tear them down, or someone who's supposedly doing better than us to find every critique to poke at them. It's model behavior. So along with the talking, I challenge the people out there to change the model of your behavior. And if you didn't learn it, it is what it is. It's time to learn and it's time to change it up. Because this is a key aspect which we don't talk about. I'm not trying to get into no utopia saying everyone's going to do it, but we need more people to be happy for the success of another.
You know, funny they are talk about the social status thing too, and oftentimes when we realize even with the concept mixed with the concept of not being happy for one another is this emphasis on academia, right? I think there's a wrong approach when it comes to academia because most people always focus on the accolades that they get from academia, thinking that it separates them from the knowledge of what their brother or sister have, and understanding that this academia is really just a validation from a it can be used from a diplomatic standpoint, but then using it from a diplomatic standpoint, I think most people get lost in that concept or the ideology of diplomacy, not understanding that diplomacy now is what in their mind it can lead them towards selfishness because okay, let's get this for academia purposes to show that I am worthy of being in this position or they can pick me for this position, but then they get so caught up in these set positions and lose sight of the ultimate mission. And that's where the whole thing become a problem now because trying to please their white owner or whoever it is. And then when they come to pleasing them now, they live their whole life trying to please them. And within the midst of that, they do one and two things, and these one and two things are supposed to be the ultimate, like the main solution when it's far from the main solution. I think that's where we get caught up in the whole social status, and it start mislead the youth them and sway the youth them the wrong way and the wrong approach to academia because we not fight academia at all, because when I tell the youth them so we if you want to go college. We've emphasized education as it is, but now we start become like the oppressors who gave us this education to use it against the owner people them, and it's not really a good approach.
And far, I have to make a confession. I have to make a confession. When I graduated school, I was feeling myself. I'm not gonna lie, I really was. I was so indoctrinated. I think that put me above my brother at a younger age, and I must say that. And many of us do experience that, and I did experience that. Now, when I learned that wasn't the case, it was shocking to my system. Fine, when I found out that wasn't the case at all, it was shocking to my system because that's where I did something. That's where I was doing something. And Amos Wilson speaks about that, man. He speaks about how that experience of education within that system messes with your mind and gives you almost a superiority complex amongst your brother and sister, which becomes detrimental. So, yeah, I did experience that. And another thing another thing I really want to touch on in regards to that, I've been thinking about status and achievement and everything. Things are so fleeting and they're not absolute. So everybody need to kick back, yeah. Everybody just need to kick back and take a deep breath and give thanks, right? I think we take ourselves too seriously, I really do. I think we really take ourselves a little too serious.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I'm a fool and I don't take myself serious enough. So it's either one, you know. But
No, because of that, it's like it kind of have a robotic approach to, even though, like, think about, we are trying to set change, we are trying to lay the foundation, and every single thing supposed to be so robotic. And if it don't meet this particular way that we perceive it in our head, then it's like the mission is failing, when there's definitely progress right in front of us, and we have room to do so much different things, but because it don't work out this particular way, we start for throwing up on all of the progress them that we are making just because of that. So the robotic approach, it really has slowed down the whole thing, and that's because they have a robotic approach because they're taking themselves way too serious.
yeah, I think you need to be more fluid. And two, man, it's just like we need to analyze all the factors that go into how things work and recalibrate that word working out. Because sometimes we have a inaccurate analysis when we say things work out. Because when they work out fire, when you look back, they never work out. They never work out at all. You think they work out, and the thing you think didn't work out, that's what work out the most, you know. So, but we definitely, people, man, you need to stop taking yourself so seriously. I meet people, you know, they telling me all these labels and all this, and it's just like, whoa, whoa, you know, hey, I'm just trying
But
to
who are you?
I'm
Who
just
are
trying,
you?
yeah, who am I? Hey, I'm just trying to meet my brother and sister, you know, as this and that. But we do encourage people, man, have a genuine intent. You know, that's the main thing. Have a genuine intent. You know, great Baba Malcolm X Earthstrong just passed on the 19th, and I think he's a great example of a person who just really embraced his purpose and lived in his purpose. That's what he believed in, whether you feel the man was right or wrong. I think that's the greatest example, you know, and I think that you have to have a genuineness when you do stuff, because when you don't, I think that's a lot of the internal conflict people have and the misery that they have because they don't get that fulfillment because they're there playing games, and you can't play games with life. Because when you play games with life, you get played, you know, over and over, never miss. So I think you have to just do good and try and live good. And I think that's what we're missing out the equation. We're making life a little too complicated, and we want too much. We want too much material things, because I hear people say stuff like, "Oh, I can't do this and do that," and I'm analyzing like, I don't know. I think it's that you're so infatuated with a certain lifestyle or addicted to a certain lifestyle that you can't maintain. It cuts you off from doing other things that'll be beneficial to others. So you find yourself in a selfish circle, a selfish hamster wheel, doing things that's not beneficial to others. And I don't think we're here for that. It is not good for your health. Hey, I was around some elders, right? I was fortunate enough to be around Dr. Julius Garvey and some other elders, right? And some of them were 80, and I was seeing how they were moving. And usually, when I'm around people, so for the most part, let's keep it a buck, right? After that late 60s, 70s, they in a wheelchair, they need assistance, they can't travel by themselves. Life is very hard. He's 91. I was calling him a liar all week because I was like, this man can't be 91. Man, show me his ID, 1933. He's 91. And there were numerous other elders there that hit the 80s. But you know what they all had in common? You know what they all had in common, Farai? They were really aligned with their purpose, and they still had missions to accomplish. I don't know the science behind it. I'm not a scientist. But there's something there when you have a purpose and you have a zest for life and you have something that you're working towards. It assists the hellfire because they flew down there by themselves. They're moving around. Then other people kind of, the body, but I noticed those who kind of really have the health things is like they never been a purpose driven, they never had a purpose driven life. And even their meditation and they focus like on problems and mix up all day, but not necessarily life. And they don't breathe life into people. These elders are very encouraging, constantly you giving game. And I think because they're breathing life into people so much, they get life. This is just a theory. If I ain't no scientist, so don't make it all excited with me in the
But you
comments.
see, but the theory is justified due to the levity, because really and truly, you see, the way our man or a woman live, it define them, and you automatically, anytime you see a brother or a sister who really have who have a purpose and they're fulfilling that purpose, it just show the shininess, just show. It's like almost like a glitter to keep on showing. One's more calm because you see, once you know what you are doing, you see, if it don't work out today, then tomorrow it will work out. And if it don't work out tomorrow, the day after that it will work out. But you already know the end result, and you have to move with certain type of a weird type of faith that kind of go hand in hand with the mission, the works that you're doing. And because that faith go hand in hand with that works that you're doing, you don't really stress your brain so much. You just try to find the solutions to all the problems that arise and see how we'll find the next step. But you see, this whole stress is a deadly thing where most people don't understand. And it's stress really start play upon people brain, and them start doubt the whole concept of the vision that they actually started with, and it starts reflecting at the physical, because you see this meditation piece is very important. Like, your meditation have to be clear in order for you to carry out that purpose and fulfill it. Once that meditation is not clear, yes, it start reflecting in your ways physically. Your mind start get too clouded with these particular thoughts. You can't fulfill the task again. But guess what? Now your head down, your body not aligned anymore. You don't move as active. You start focus on so many negative things, and all of these consumptions become your physical existence. So even though it might be a theory, but it's a theory that's justified based off of how certain things we see, and understanding how the movement work, and understanding this very concept of time, meditation, and the progress that is being made beyond self, because self is the ultimate things that drive the mission still, self in regards to your thought that come from your mind, which is within yourself, but you understand that it extends way beyond you. And once you understand that it extends way beyond you, that's where your true purpose you start fulfilling that true purpose. Malcolm X can die from around 1965, and there's so much people talking about Malcolm X trying to fulfill certain mission of Malcolm X. Thomas Sankara can die in the 1980s in a exact Burkina Faso, being an exact military man. And you have a youth now, Ibrahim Traore, who can come in at this particular day, carry on that exact vision. They can't kill the revolution. They might kill the revolutionaries, but they can't kill the revolution. And you have to have your purpose and believe in that purpose to execute the revolution. That's what most people don't really understand. And social statuses and division won't bring with here.
And real talk, far. And I think another thing we need to change in regards to how we model and how we behave. I know, like, all the systems like are created to, for like individual success, but I think one of the things we could do within that space is, like, we need to quantify what collective success is and what it looks like, and we need to praise that. We need to praise that. We need to hype up our collabs and hype up our partnerships, and just because I think we just need to be the example for the model we want to see. And as I said, I keep repeating this because everybody think everything got to be no mass movement fire. Do it in your house. Do it in your peers. That's all. Just do that. You do what you're supposed to do and be an example for others. That's what you need to focus on. Because everybody focus on what everybody else is doing. Let's focus on what we're doing. Let's take the initiative and say, hey, you know what?
What you are doing.
We're going to praise that, these brothers really working together for duration of time, and we encourage them to work together for duration of time. These sisters been doing their thing for a long time. We praise that, and we encourage these sisters to continue and support them too with your dollars and not your mouth. That's the last thing I want to say. Farah, I know I said modeling that. But yeah, man, tap into some genuineness. And you, Farah, hey, numerous elders. I don't know if it was my grandmother, because my man always around old people, yeah. So I don't know if my grandma, she was telling me how the ancestors don't come around chaos, or the spirit don't come around chaos. And she's not the only one that told me that. But that time,
you also have to clean them. Dollars, you also have to clean in order for God to come in, Yeah.
You can't bring no stress to the screen in the Zion fire.
Zion, no.
Yeah. So I just encourage people out there is like, and all right, let me say this. Just because you align with your purpose don't mean like you're going to be in no utopian life going to be smooth. I'm not saying that, because that's not the case. But right, you do have more peace in your life. You have more joy in your heart and your faith. You see the thing with the faith you were mentioning earlier? The reason the faith is so helter-skelter because they don't know what to have faith in. They don't know what they're doing. You see, when you sit on what you're doing, all right, then you can put your faith in that. But when you're all over the place and you're doing something you probably know you shouldn't be doing, or it's tricky to have faith because it can't be grounded in nothing, because you're all over the place. Well, you haven't decided on what you're doing and what you're focused on. I encourage Farah. Last thing I want to say, Farah. I encourage anyone listening, take up a mission for a month, right? And just focus on doing that thing along with your other stuff. I'm not saying drop everything you're doing. Focus on doing that thing consistently for a month. Please try it. I don't care if it's hard. I don't care about no outcome. Just make sure you do that thing for a month consistently every day. Check the outcome. I know it's a weird thing. I know a lot of people don't do that, right? I know it's a weird thing. Try to do something for a month and just stick with it. Put outcome to the side. The goal is the success is that you did it for a month. Check out the income. I said the income. Check out the outcome.
Yeah, that's the whole thing fair because so realize something where most people don't get, and I think a lot of people mistake it. People try to be celebrity revolutionaries, and there's no celebrity in the whole idea of revolution. Malcolm X might be known, Martin Luther King might be known. You can call a million and one name. They might be known, but is you see, within to them personally, it wasn't for the sense of being known as well. It was for the sense of actually accomplishing a task that they set out, and that is where most people need to understand. Because you see, if we start thinking about this whole celebrity concept within the confines of revolution, then again it start turning to self, and you become the main focus, and you might be doing good, but then again at the end of the day, all of these good that you do, it's going to crumble down, and it's not going to be anything to develop on because you did it for yourself. And this whole selfish thoughts and praise and all of these different things, celebrity thing. So if you don't get acknowledged as you think you should, don't worry about that. It's not about the acknowledgement. It's about the outcome of what you're doing, and just seeing those results taking place over time, and gradually things will build up.
And all right, this is the last thing for it. I know it's the way it's presented, especially in Hollywood. We got to blame Hollywood for a lot of things, these ideas and concepts we have about stuff. Leaders, the point of a leader is to serve, not to be served. Fire. A good leader is in the service. He's in the service business. I can't use the word business because, man, you know what I'm saying, Fire. He serves. That's what a great leader does. That's how people appoint you to be a leader. Don't nobody point you to be a leader just to sit there and serve you. They may serve you after a while out of reverence, but you should be serving them way more than they serving you if you're a leader. So if you're not serving people more than being served, then you're in the wrong thing, because you have to give. Hey, man, it's just I have to say it. All right. I was among some elders the other day, separate from this thing. And he was breaking down, saying how much, when the universe gives you so much, you got to give back. For it's not a one-way street. You got to give back. And I think, too, another issue why people don't give back, they have a misunderstanding of what a blessing is. And they only categorize blessings in a monetary sense and disregard all the blessings going on in their life. That's a recipe.
Monetary or attention, because I think
currency.
Attention is a new currency.
That's wild. Yeah, saying attention is a blessing, but we gotta work with people still. But they disregard everything that's going on, and this thing is not a one-way street. So you're gonna have to give something back, and when you don't give anything back, don't feel no way when stuff coming, and that's just how the game go. It's always been like that, and I guess it'll be like that for the remainder of time,
The law of equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
And most people don't understand it. I think most people have to realize, you see, after studying, because I did some study from the other day in a particular hydrology, right? And hydrology is the study of water streams and water bodies. And we understand the whole concept of how tributaries contribute to that mainstream. And I think most people should start seeing themselves as tributaries, because tributaries could be so small, but you see that one small stream that flow into that mainstream, it actually stops soil erosion. It actually creates more water to really flow towards the sea and keep the water levels where they're supposed to be. And it could be so minute or so small that you would not even recognize it with the physical eye, but the contribution that it plays towards the overall outcome, crazy.